Hello, everybody. Good evening. I am going to run scans here quickly, and then I will hop into what I'm kind of wanting to go over this evening. Um, did not do a live yesterday just because I did not really have much on watch. Back into slow times for me, not really forcing anything right now. So I'm just going to run scans quickly, let a few of you guys filter on in. Let me know who's around, anything you guys want to chit chat about, and then we'll get going. I guess I could chit chat about LEU. I've sold all that swing. I was out on this day. Um, I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did a live. Yeah, I did a live on this day. And I was looking to sell into the gap up and any sort of parabolic. I was looking to lock in that winner. Being long from 211 and then adding 240, moving risk to 220. At that point, I was risking $2. And up in the 260s, like 280s, I'm up like $60 a share, risking $2. So the risk reward was just absolutely ridiculous on that. Had I sized in to like, 1, 2, maybe 3 hour risk, risking those $2, that would have been really nice. But in reality, just moved risk up just below break even there and let the trade work. But I was all out into this speed up here in the 280s. I was all out by 290. Did not capture the 300 tick, but still nice trade nonetheless. I think that was like a 7R winner or so. And then CoreWeave, I had bought that one. That one was from the watch list, and it stopped me out. I bought this 125 break, was the plan from the watch list. Top, breaks through it, volume starts to come in. So I buy versus low a day risk. And we got a flush yesterday that just stopped me out right off the open. Pre-market was holding it. Prior day's lows held all day. And then one candle straight down. It was like a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then upticked and never saw lower. So a bit frustrating on that one. A bit of a frustrating one, but you can see the wick that got me. So all in all, trend is still holding up, but did get stopped out on that one. But this was an entry on this day from Friday. Yesterday, the only trade or order that I put in was a stop loss on CoreWeave that ended up stopping me out, but I didn't place any trades yesterday. And then today, the only trade I attempted was Atch, trying to dip by this thing. It filled the gap, and I felt like this washout here in pre-market was explosive enough to the downside that I was looking for a pop versus VWAP. It didn't come. I sold this one for a loss, sold this one for flat, and then I put some on the opening range highs and was risking low a day. Did start to come back there midday. I was willing to let this thing work, was looking for 70s, 80s, somewhere up there. And that little spike just got sold off into. So I just let the stop sit there and let it stop out, but lost about a 1.5 R on that one. But not looking to size into these things really crazy, like I've gone over when there isn't like one trade after another, that if you take losses, something else is picking up the slack. And I'm just not seeing that right now. So one trade, one attempt, and it didn't work. So that was all I did today. Open, really nice fader. Once we lost those 880s. A concept I've touched on before on these multi-day runners is finding the why as to why it's up. And the whole reason open had started moving in the first place over here was that Eric Jackson guy on Twitter was talking about it for months. And he kept promoting it, kept talking about it day after day after day. And right over here on this day that it started not only breaking daily support and having a daily failed follow through, but he also posted in pre-market that he was going to alert another 100 bagger, he called it. So he was making another stock pick. So therefore, there's a maximum dollar block to how much people can buy. And once he lost, it pulled back, touched it, bouncing ball, lower high, lower high, lower high, right there into close, loses it. Shorting pops, 880s versus 910s risk, and it completely unwinds in after hours. You get a gap down and steady lows all day today. So really nice fader from that concept. And now we've got a multi-day fade. I would like this, like zooming out closer to like this 580s level for a bounce. But I do think even in the 7 area, I think a bounce back to 880s is 100% doable. You can see where volume profile is. If I start to zoom a little bit here, you can see all the volume up here, and then volume starts to come in here just below 7, but all within this range. There's not a ton of volume. So we've started touching prior support, prior resistance. So I think the next play on this would be a backside bounce. It's ran from $1 to 10. So a little pullback here is understandable. OPAD starting to lose steam. That thing really needs to lose like $4. Navini finally broke out. I did not participate in this. This wasn't super clean. I felt like this action was a lot cleaner than this. And now it's just getting a bit illiquid and choppy. Just unfortunate the way it played out. I was very sized and prepared for it all through here. And I just did one last little shakeout before ripping. So sometimes the way the cookie crumbles. What else do I got here? SLNH, I like this one for tomorrow. We've now ran from 80 cents to $3. Nice small cap multi-day runner. Never saw higher off its opening print. Pulled back, steady lows all day today. I contemplated shorting the gap today. Just decided against it. Haven't done a ton of this recently, shorting the overextended gap ups and just waiting for those red moves to come. And so even if I was short, typically I like hard cracks, lower highs. So I'd be shorting probably somewhere in here, 270s-ish, like a low a day breakdown, risking maybe 25 cents. And it pulled back to 230. So let's call it maybe 50 cents, like a 2-to-1 trade on something that's probably about a 50%, 60% win rate. So just not a super profitable entry and whatnot for me. Did have an offering come out there in pre-market, and sometimes those weak opens are just there to trap shorts. So wasn't a high conviction trade, but now that I have volume here, basically anything 240 and above is bag holders, and there's a ton of volume up there. And I think anticipated range potential would be this 160s, 170s. ton of volume here from day one, and then you've also got the prior breakout level. So if this isn't gapping down too much, I would love to short pops using like this 240, 250 as a guide. So we will see there. Duo, keeping tabs on this one. This daily just hasn't gone away. Same kind of thing with ADAP. This daily just hasn't gone away. RR was hoping a bit more squeeze out, just didn't come. Too choppy of a multi-day runner. No real plan there. DVLT, just hit scan. So far I'm looking at Open and SLNH as my top two so far. But like I say, I am running scans here right now. It's been a late nights the last few days. So I am a bit behind the 8 ball. But let me see. Little breakout. How's the intraday looking? Nice little trender. This would drive me nuts though. You get morning strength. Looks like it's building. Breaks low a day by a couple pennies. And then like that kind of stuff just pisses me off. Oh man, look at that ABAT go. God damn. Never got an entry on this thing. Bugger. This day here, when it broke out of those 290s, I was looking for weak opens the next day. We got a flush there in after hours. Right here. Flushed out in after hours, and then by the time the market opened the next day, it was right back over threes. It just didn't stay weak like I wanted it to, and now it's ripping. That's frustrating too. Any interest in new Y? I don't think so. I think I saw that one on scan. He could make a case for it, I guess. 40 cents to $1.10. It's not the worst idea. What was that news in after hours yesterday? What was the news? Is there a filing or something? Must have been something. New Era Energy. Maybe something to do with energy. Last night at market close. Yesterday, market close. I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. Maybe on Twitter? I don't see it on my news feeds. Rebranded from helium to AI. Entered into a joint venture with an AI tech. Rebranded. Yeah, they probably are a bit late to this trend. Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea. It looks like they're a bit late to this trend because you've had like the NBIS and NVIDIA. What else was there? It was like data stocks where they had. Oh damn it! Clicked the wrong button. Come on. Yeah, I remember NBIS off the top of my head. What was the other ones? I don't know. There's a few like data storage centers and stuff. So it sounds like that's what they're getting into with AI and data. I think they're probably a bit late to this. Ton of volume stuck there, 80 plus. You had that rip off the open, round tripped. This VWAP reclaim 100% squeeze shorts. So you've got like this 95 level. And then, yeah, that was right around closing VWAP. So you can see like over under where it tops out looking left, bases, 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 clears out, fails, last pop that doesn't reclaim it. So if I were to get a gap up, I don't hate the idea for EMA is in the 60s. Like there's not a ton of meat. The close is right around here. We'll put it on watch. It'll depend how expensive the borrows are on it. 80 cents and under is like so many bags up above it. If we're gapping up, could probably use pops using 95 as a guide. If we're opening around 80, would likely like to see that level fail. They're probably a bit late to that sector. Doesn't look terrible. I like the volume picking up each day. Nice big top wick. Not bad, not bad. WCT. That's looking like a T+1 type thing. What's that? Well Change Holdings. Oh, it's a Hong Kong China scam. Gross. Don't want to touch that. I do feel like the last couple days on Sunday evening going into Monday and then Monday going into today, my scans were fairly bleak. I had like a couple ideas, but nothing was super high conviction. I wasn't like jumping out of bed like, I want to trade. This is the one type of thing. And that kind of feeling typically leads to not pushing like needle mover size because they aren't needle mover trades. So I typically don't like to push in those moments, but I can feel a bit more conviction and idea generation this evening. That's why I wanted to hop on the live, just because I think like I've given enough time here to let some stuff set up. OCGN continuing. Not crazy volatility. Like I much prefer. I'll bet this one was the one that guy started pumping here at 30s. That moved from open and went to this name. Just for a note. But I love going through a scan and like seeing names that at first glance look like they fit a chart pattern, and then being able to just ragdoll them into nothing and be like, this is why I don't want to trade it. Like I love it's like a I get a bigger adrenaline rush from narrowing down a watch list than I do from actually trading them. Oh wow, Sava's coming back. It's a repeat offender. IXHL, little perky perky. Wow, ASTS just straight up into resistance. Jeez. Yeah, plug, it just doesn't move much. And it's hard to pick, like, that today is the day. Because plug and F cell were moving together. But it's kind of like, what was that one? Bit F, I think? Where, like, this is going gap to gap to gap, and then you get that big gap, and it barely pulls back, and then it rips you. And then it gaps up, and the next day it gaps down and squeezes you back. And then, like, today was the fade day. But it's like stuff like plug where it starts to ramp. And if you got rid of these two candles and you went this to this to this, then yes, I would like to do something like that. But you're just not getting that range expansion and like volume really starting to blow off. You got it like just today. It wasn't like day after day where it started to ramp and then it went sideways barely up and then started to rip. So it only really went from like 2 to 3 in any sped up fashion. So it wasn't extended enough and it wasn't as clean as I usually like. And you don't have to trade them all because if you sit around and wait for the ones that really look good, then you can just size into those with a bit bigger size. And that's your week maker, that's your month maker. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree, Blue. I feel like this OPAD, like, hey, hey, where's, what the heck? Come on. There we go. I feel like this should be worth a short. Like, especially now that open is failing. I probably would give this a shot tomorrow. Like an opening range breakdown, risk high a day, and just kind of hope that it fails. This is the first day today that it's closed below the 20 moving average. And now we've got range down to like $3, which is the 50 day. So if you put like a 20 and a 50 on your chart, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But I feel like I could, and now that it's given one last attempt, bagged some longs, and now it's failing, it's kind of like what was that one? Jobby right here, where it gives one last attempt, bags a few more longs, and then see ya. Same thing here. I think that's kind of what I'm looking for on OPAD, where we lose $4 and then just go straight to 3 tomorrow. Maybe a steady fader. I'd probably give that one a shot. I do like that open is now fading. It should help that one. Hard stops, likes the way I do it. Cheers. Cheers, mate. KLAR says Lockdock. Oh, yeah. Nothing I really would pay much attention to, but hey, you got edge, exploit it. Sog P is rolling over. The more I look at this open, the more I just want to bounce it. I just feel like now that it started pulling back, everyone's ran to the exits. It's done nothing but fade. And then that first gut check, I think, just squeezes. Everyone panics. Like, oh, I don't want to get caught in another one of these. Where they think we're here and they don't want to get caught in this. So then they cover and you just get that knee jerk. I feel like that's where everybody is positioned right now. They all ran for the exits. Lower it goes, the better it is. But I do feel like the opportunity is there. So I think that's enough of a watch list. Small cap multi-day breakouts been working fire. Which ones? Any namely? Like I saw Navini yesterday through the 114s, but I didn't really love it. It was kind of straight up and then only one day. I didn't take that one. SLNH. Yeah, probably the early entry. I don't know, it gapped up above this breakout. Like, I don't love when they gap above it, but if you're using those 170s, you got rewarded with the gap. Pulls back, breaks support anyone. Like, a lot of times, you'll see me get this big move, and I'll wait for this pullback, where maybe I buy this breakout, risk low a day, and then once we re-break to highs, I move risk to the dip low, where I add and risk lows, which would have stopped me out right there, and then ripped. So not the cleanest one to how I typically trade them. I didn't trade this one in particular. I'm not on desk that late in the day, but nice move. Yeah, they've been happening a bit later in the morning, so I haven't been around to take them, but held really well. That's that daily line right there. No overhead resistance. Rips through them. You don't have to chase. Pulls back, pulls back, pulls back. Consolidates for 10 till 12:30, 12 o'clock. 2.5 hours of consolidation. Let's see, if you buy here, risk low a day, let it wait for a minimum 1 hour consolidation, which would be over here, and then buy that new breakout, move risk to 50s, then you get rewarded with this while you're pyramiding in. So this one worked a lot cleaner than SLNH did, in my opinion. But yeah, nice move. Panic into close. Weaker the close, stronger the gap, usually. Hopefully that thing goes on a little run. I'm going to keep it on watch. No plan on it for tomorrow, but we'll keep it on watch now that I've missed the breakout. So I'll keep open on watch. I think this could have a backside bounce in it. Ideally, it goes lower another day to like these fives range, but we'll see. OPAD, I like this. Opening range breakdowns. If it loses 390s and 4, the first day this is closing below the 20-day. So I think measured potential is down towards 3s to the next moving average. SLNH, looking for a first red day on this. It's now ran from 80s to 3. Close below its open. Ton of resistance, 240s, 250s to use as a guide. ADAP, keeping on watch, just a recent runner. Consolidating. DVLT, recent runner. Breakout, keeping on watch. NUAI would be the other one. This I'd put at like a B grade, where it runs from 4 to 110s. And maybe get like 15 cents of a pullback out of it or something towards like 60s. So ideally it doesn't gap down too much. If those first red days gap down too much, I'll leave them alone. PTNM. Yeah, that thing's just too illiquid. I won't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. to a liquid. Maybe you get a run out of it, but you can have that one. Yeah, BitF is just too choppy. Bitcoin related and a choppy multi-day runner. I have no interest in trying to short those and pick tops. They just result in more losses, and then once the day comes, now you're trained each pullback day to cover flushes, cover flushes, cover flushes, and the day it actually fades, you're covering flushes, and then it never gives you an entry. So if you're going to be patient for a fade like this, you need to be patient here, patient here, patient here, patient here, and every time it's coming back to stop you out. So then the day that you actually have to be patient, you're not going to mentally be there. So I find it better to just avoid stuff like this personally. But enough on watch on my end. What I just went over: Open, OPAD, SLNH, and NUI, NUAI. 4 mains and then a couple back burners. So I will leave it off there. I'm going to go grab some dinner. And yeah, I'll probably hop on the broadcast in Investors Underground in the morning. I've got I think the first or second link down in the description sends you over. I have it like where to find me. And if you join IU, I go over my plans there right before market open. So if you want more stuff, then you can chit chat with me there. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next live stream. So have a great evening, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Peace.